Hello everybody, good morning. Believe it or not, it's taken an entire year for me to complete this video. I've been filming pieces of it throughout the year, and so you'll see me in different attire. It's different seasons of the year, just to try and explain how I compost. It wasn't planned like that, and I don't know why it happened like that. I just wasn't able to finish it. But I hope that this video gives you enough information about how I compost. It is quite successful. I'm quite happy how the system is working. So I'm going to show you what I do in terms of making my own compost. Just for those that are not familiar with composting, you've got to realize that there are a number of things that go into the composting cycle. You're supposed to put material in a container or in a mound or somewhere, and this material decomposes. As it decomposes, it creates heat and it cooks, and that breaks down the material, the organic material, into nutrients for soil and for plants. So usually it can get quite complicated, but I'm going to keep it simple. So in terms of the material that goes into the composting, you can normally classify them into two types: browns and greens. The browns are things like paper towels and bags, paper bags, egg boxes, woody prunings from your garden. Lots of autumn leaves are good for your cardboard, for your compost pile. Hedge clippings, they tend to be quite hardy. Things like sawdust. Anyway, you have the greens, and the greens are things like kitchen scraps. You know, everything that's left out of the kitchen. No raw meat, no old cooked material, so nothing that's been cooked goes into your compost heap. No raw meat goes into your compost heap. Just use fruit and vegetable scraps. Use ground coffee, old flour from your flower pots, plant stems, grass clippings. Make sure they're not seeding when you use grass clippings. You can even put weeds, soft prunings, and even chicken manure. Now, when you are considering browns and greens, lots of people will tell you got to put in 40% greens and 60% browns, or 30-70. I don't worry about that. I use about a 50-50 mix. Every day we go down, or every second day I go down and chuck the kitchen scraps into the compost heap, and I collect a lot of leaves because I have lots of trees in the garden, and that consists mostly of my brown materials. But I also use old paper. I put paper through a shredder, and when the shredder is full, I chuck it into my brown section of the compost heap. Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. So you need brown materials, green materials, mix it all together, turn the compost heap periodically, every 2 to 3 weeks, add some water, and it will cook away, and it will become amazing, wonderful soil or compost for your soil. So let's have a look how that works. So I use the 3 compost bin system. I use one to keep the brown materials. That's a lot of leaves and stuff that I'm keeping to mix later with the green materials. Then I use these two. One contains compost from last year, and the other one contains the new material. So I put all the kitchen leftovers and all the green stuff that I get out of my garden, the leaves, the weeds, I pile in there, and I mix it up with the leaves from there as brown material, and other brown material like paper and stuff. And then I used the compost that grew in here, or that was produced in here last year. I used that to feed the flower beds and the trees. So let me show you how it works. Okay, I have opened them now, just to illustrate this. So this has got the kitchen scraps and the greens from the garden, and I'll show you how that builds up and how I mix it with the brown material. This one contains the compost that's been maturing over the last year, and I'm going to show you how I take stuff out of here and clean it up for use in the garden beds. And this contains the leaves for me to use when I need to mix it with brown material. So composting, ready compost, brown material. When this bin is finished and that one is full, I leave that to develop the compost, and I use that one for the new
kitchen scraps and green matter to go in there to start building it for next year. So the three box system works nicely for me. The only thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to use boxes made out of wood, because these ones here break down. So they've lasted me 3 years. I think this is the third year, and they are starting to crack and break open, but they've been good so far, and it was a nice starter kit for me. So let me show you how that works. Now I'm going to chuck in the kitchen scraps into the composter. The kitchen scraps have to be, it's just all the raw stuff that goes uncooked. No cooked food, no bones, okay? And no raw meat or anything like that. Just the greens. And so basically, you just stuck it into the composter like that. Some people like to cut everything up into very small pieces. I don't really bother. I can break up the eggs. Piece of paper and tissues, as long as they don't have no chemicals or meat products, you can chuck in here. And then I'm going to throw in also cardboard, pieces of egg boxes. This material that I've chucked in from the kitchen scraps, and any material that looks like this is considered to be green materials from your garden. So any weeding, as long as they don't have seeds and stuff, you can chuck in here. It's all green. This cardboard material is considered to be brown. So cardboard, egg boxes, just break it up and chuck it in there. It's very good for it. And then okay. So once you've chucked your scraps and your kitchen scraps and your greens in there, you don't want to leave it like that, because it's going to collect a lot of fleas and flies and little gnats and stuff like that. So you want to put in the brown material, and that's where the third box comes in. I've got all the leaf material here, so I use this material to cover the kitchen scraps. And that has two functions. It provides a mixture of carbon and nitrogen. This is the carbon material. The leaves and sticks and stuff like that can all come in here like that. Can all come in here. And that's it. So I'm going to leave it like this now, and this will cook away after one final ingredient, which is the water. Water is really, really good for your compost heap, because it's got living materials or living beings, living animals that actually do the organic breakdown of the material in here. So I just leave it like this now, let it cook for a few days, and towards the end of the week I'll come and I'll mix it, and then I'll start the process again with the other kitchen material, and I'll keep this going throughout the year, and when it's full I'll switch to the second one. That's it. The compost keeps disappearing, so as you fill up the compost bin, it keeps getting lower and lower, because it gets broken down and gets decomposed. So you have to keep filling it up. So it takes you an entire year to fill something like this, unless you've got a very large garden and you have a lot of kitchen scraps. So anyway, I've been actually filling the wheelbarrow here with material I've built myself, this little device. It is just 4 pieces of wood with handles, so they can be shaken just like a shifter's, gold shifter's gadget. And I'm taking the material out of my compost bin, all the stuff that's broken down, and that's what it looks like. You can see the egg shells are the ones that take the longest to break down, but it's okay. It's going to be in the compost and then in the veggie bed, and it will take many years for the eggs to break down. But that's what it looks like. Here's a little worm here, which I don't want in there. I just want the earthworms in here, because they're going to go back into the compost heap. like this. Not into the compost heap. These are going to go back into the earth. It is in the compost. It's quite healthy. So basically, that's what the process involves. You wait for it to break down, and then you get a load, and you fill this up, and you just shift through the small stuff. I just normally fill it up. I'm doing it quite quickly so that you can understand the process. And then this, what's left over, I throw back into the compost bin that's being active, and I will mix it in when this is done in a couple of days. So that's it. I think how the process works, and I just wanted to close off that loop so that I've explained it properly of how I do it. There are many different ways, but this is how I do it, and it's working fine. I've been meaning to finish this video for quite a long time, and the reason I haven't done it is because I have been wanting to show you my secret weapon for composting. This is what I've been using traditionally in my compost boxes, but now I use something different. I tried this, a compost mixer, and it's been absolutely fantastic, and I only use this now. I use this to take the compost out when I want to use it to fertilize, to cover my vegetable beds and my tree bases. But to mix the compost, I no longer use this. It's too arduous and it really breaks my back. This is fantastic because it does the job. It mixes the soil or the compost, it airs it, and it's quite easy to use. Let me show you how. Come along. Basically, this is the compost that's down at the bottom of the box, and it's been shrinking because that's what compost does. It tends to disappear. So all you need to do is take the compost mixer like this, twist it in to the 4 sections, and just mix it up like that, and just move it around your bin until you find it's fully aired. Because what you're trying to do is to try and move oxygen down to the bottom, because that is what makes it cook, and at the same time you want to maintain it airy and loose so that the worms and stuff can move around in there. If you look inside here, there's quite a lot of worms. They've been going down, and they've been moving to my other compost bins. There you go. Okay, look at this. Okay. So that's what I do. I use this tool once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks at the most. I come in here and I turn the compost like this, and it's been amazing in terms of the results that I've gotten with it. So I'm not promoting this thing or any vendor. It's just a tool that you can get made by your local ironmonger, or you can buy it online. And so that brings us to the end of the composting saga. I hope you found some good tips in there, that you learned something. I know it's taken a long time to put it together, but it's finally done. Give me the thumbs up on the video, press the subscribe button, and click on the bell button to be reminded when new videos come out. Have a good weekend, folks.